YouTube Force Arena Commanders, welcome to this brand new updated Star Wars Force Arena Empire tips and strategy guide. This is currently the deck I'm running for my Imperial characters. Feel free to pause the video for as long as you want to and take some notes. The reason why I'm running this deck is it works. I've had about an 85% win rate, is 1 versus 1. Occasional defeats to Cassian, it was very close. I went for an all-out push. It was both turrets were down to about half, and I just ran for it. But obviously, because he can deploy his troopers, he's got me right at the death, which is a shame. But that is life. So let's have a quick overview of my deck. So AT-ST Walker's in there. It's a big cost. If you don't have the AT-ST Walker, feel free to replace it with the light tank. You have to have a tank in there to absorb what's coming in from the rebels, be it the Wookiee warriors or the troops, etc. I have the Imperial Probe Droid. That is at 3 energy cost, but also now it is a tier 1 unit. So for those of you starting the game, you get that straight away rather than the Rocket Stormtrooper. Depending on my mood, sometimes I will throw in the Rocket Stormtrooper to replace the melee units. The good thing about Imperial Probe Droid, it's like a magnet, as you'll see in one of the videos, for rebel units. We all know Rebel Swarm. It's all about the melee units, the rebel soldiers, the troopers. It's all about foot soldiers with rebels. So you have to have strong counters to those. And the Imperial Probe Droid is a 3 energy cost. So for example, if they throw down a Wookiee warrior, or Imperial Royal Guards, Malaz warriors, those kind of things, that's about 8, maybe 8, 9 energy costs right there. And that unit there will wipe out probably 80% of those, or reduce the hit points of those left standing, because the Wookiee is a tank. It has quite a high hit point. Also does the Royal Guards, which means then your turret will kill them before they get anywhere near your turret, which is the kind of thing you want to do. You need to prevent as much damage as you can being done to your turrets. And Imperial Probe Droid is one of the cheapest units that you could use to make that happen. The minute you drop it, they'll just lock onto it and attack it, providing of course that they haven't locked onto your turret. So you need to make sure you deploy it smartly and in the right areas on the map when they're coming at you. Imperial Gunners are in there, the heavy gunners are in there. I'll take those out sometimes, but I like to have them in there because they will just melt Luke Skywalker when he makes his rush at the turret. You need to have some other things in there, like the melee units to back him up, or some stormtroopers to back them up sometimes, but they will focus on Luke and they will melt him. A light tank is good for that too. The AT-ST Walker will ignore everything on the battlefield. That just goes locked straight onto a turret, and that's where it goes to, the enemy turret. If you have a light tank will also melt Luke Skywalker. So if you have the light tank or the heavy stormtrooper, that is 5 energy cost. With a melee unit, brings it up to 8, or with stormtrooper, or if you use your stun grenade, that will stop Luke flat dead. That way then your turret, your tank, you can deal damage to him and kill him before he rushes your turret or does any amount of damage to it. So moving on to the first 2v2 game. You'll see examples here of me deploying the Imperial Probe Droid and also pushing on the left flank and right flank. It's hard sometimes in 2v2 because your partner, you don't know how your partner is or how they're going to react. So it's good if you're in 2v2 guild, you can team up with a teammate and then discuss what's going on over Discord or some kind of TeamSpeak devicey thing. There you see I've dropped the Imperial Probe Droid right there on those guards, and look, they focus it straight away. Malaz warriors are down, hit points reduced, and my heavy gunners wipe and clear up the rest. Now the left side's vulnerable here because I had no idea Prince Leia just deployed that tank, so I'm a bit weak, and my partner is too busy focused on the leader combat, which has annoyed me. But when I see she's deployed a GNK droid, I tried to force pull it, but unfortunately I missed, so it will take out my turret. With Darth Vader, you've got force pull, so you need to be mindful of those droids and pull them away. But even if you're an Imperial player, generally those droids are devastating. If you pop down an Imperial Probe Droid, it will attack it. If you pop down Stormtroopers, it will attack it. A stun grenade will stop it, so you can kill it. That is critical. You pay attention to what's going on the map. The map is your guide to what's going on the battlefield. If you don't pay attention to anything on there, you will end up losing. especially in 2 versus 2, because the rebels could drop their little droid like this or a sniper and then deal some serious damage to you. Now I put an AT-ST Walker on the left flank at the very back. The reason why I put it at the very back was so as it pushes up towards their turret, my energy levels will regenerate, therefore I can deploy more units to support it. I will generally put stormtroopers or melee units in front, heavy gunners behind it. And because I'm Darth Vader, I'm a tank, I'll just latch straight onto that turret. That is my focus, because everything else locked onto the AT-ST Walker, which meant I was free to attack that turret. And that's a mindset you have to have as a player. Look at the enemy turret, look at the units, what are they attacking? Do you have an opportunity to get in there and attack that turret? Remember, the turrets are your objectives. It's not fighting against leaders, it's not getting bogged down in other combat with other units. Your objectives are to take down the turret in the most efficient way possible. And it's important that you pay attention to that objective, because too many players don't and they end up getting beaten. Here's Luke now, look at the heavy gunners just melt him. There you go. I think he scraped the turret just. Imperial probe droid taking out the melee units. This is what you do to delay and stall. It's all about stall tactics for Luke as your main units push. Now again, AT-ST Walker pushing forward. I forced pull Leia to kill her. GNK droid being deployed. I still can't understand how she can deploy droids in a stun, but that's the way life goes. So the stun grenade is a useful, probably one of the most useful tools that you can have in your armory. It's cheap cost at 2, and you can stun an enemy leader relatively quickly for 2 seconds. So you've got a 2-second window to attack a turret or drop units down or get them killed. It's pretty that straightforward with a stun grenade. Simple and deadly. Okay, in this particular video you'll see a Boba Fett player using those very tactics against me, although admittedly with this particular deck for Luke it's just a trial, so I'm just testing out some new moves and some new strategies here with Luke, so I'm not too worried about if I win or lose this game, to be honest with you. But watch carefully how Boba Fett here deploys a rocket trooper for some reason, but when he pushes he'll support his push with troopers, and that's the kind of mentality you have to employ in your games, because if you don't you will end up being vulnerable like he was here. So his turret is vulnerable, I'll take the turret down relatively quickly, but he drops heavy gunners and watch how they just melt me. Look at their health just drop like a stone. Although admittedly my focus was a turret, so I wasn't too mindful about getting killed. And again, if you're Darth Vader or another melee character, that's a mindset you have to have. If you die, so be it. You got the turret, so you're 1-0 up for the good, because the turrets are your focus. He's got a heavy tank, he's got rocket trooper, he's got stormtroopers in there. My Grenadier decides to go shopping, which really cost me here because it's a vital mistake that I made by deploying him there. He went the other way. But my turret will go down now because he supported his troops in the push. There's no point in sitting too further back. You're just dropping troops, but you're not backing them up with any help, because they do need help and support as you're making a push for the turret when you're playing the Empire. But even if you are brand new to the game, or somebody who's played it for a few weeks and getting frustrated that you can't beat the rebels, you need to understand what counters what. You need to have a deck, as I showed you earlier, that counters rebel pushes. Rebels are all about troopers. Now as an Empire player I have a turret to prevent an AT-ST Walker attack, as that's the first thing it will lock onto. If I'm an Empire player I won't really need a turret too much, although yes it will wipe out troopers, but you're better off having the TIE Fighter, or even better, the Imperial Probe Droid. It will kill more units for reduced energy cost than a turret can do. But you can have a turret if you wish, because it can be great to defend an open spot. But as you see here, Boba Fett now, he's pushing hard, pushing heavy, rocket trooper in there. I'm making a desperate attempt to drop something there, but I know the game's lost. But he's backing up his push with units, and that's the kind of things that you need to do when playing the game. Heavy gunners are there, stormtroopers are there, melee units are in there. If you drop units one at a time randomly on the map, you will end up losing, because they're just running to their death. Therefore there's no point you even bothering. Let's look at some common mistakes Empire players do make in the game. You have power, but it's not unlimited power. Boba Fett deploys an AT-ST Walker, which is perfectly fine. Because I'm the Emperor, he's not particularly strong in attack. He's one of the weakest characters in the game in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is just defend and then back him up with extra additional units as he pushes the right lane, which we will do. At the same time, mindful about the droids, the tanks, etc. that is pushing down towards us. But we do a good push. The turret does go down, but the rebels come back now because Boba Fett died. He's weak. But what he does is here, critically, he just drops down heavy gunners in front of the tower, but they just get melted by the tank and by the heavy melee units because they were just too far ahead. You want to put those troopers right just in front of your turrets, so that way everything's in range, and then you can just support the attack. The turret's attacking, you're attacking. Yes, the turret was attacking, but he put them so far ahead that the tank locked onto them first and then just melted them. I put an Imperial Probe droid in there as well to help support the defence, but as you can see, it wasn't strong enough. And these are the kind of mistakes players make. You send troopers into battle one at a time and they just get killed over and over again because there's nothing to support in them. You have to support your troops when you deploy them. Now, rebel melee units aren't nothing to worry about because they are just, well, it's cannon fodder really. Cheap units that just get disposed of in the game. So let's have a recap. Tip number 1, Imperial Probe droid, essential in any Empire deck, regardless. Stun grenade, I'd go as far as say you have to have a stun grenade in your deck to slow down enemy units and rebel leaders. Be mindful of what's on the map. What units are going where? Who's pushing where? Are you supporting each other? That is what the map's there for. If you don't use the map, you'll end up getting beaten. It's as simple as that. Number 4, support. Support your push. Support your troopers. Play smarter as a player. Don't just deploy troops anywhere on the map. Think about where you're going to put them. Deploy them at the back of your turret to make a small push so your energy levels recharge and regenerate, so that way you can put down more units so your attack is strong as you push forward. Tip number 5 would be practice. Practice in training matches. Have counters. Work out what counters what. What characters are you stronger with? Yes, you might like a favourite character, for example the Emperor, but he's pretty weak at the moment. So you might need to find a different character to play with in games. Or if you want to play with him, learn. Where is he weak? Where is he strong? Can I support better? Can I do this better? They're the kind of things that you need to do and adapt when you're playing the game. That way it will make you a much better Imperial player, and the word defeat will be something you won't see all too often. Now I hope you liked the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The more subscribers the merrier. I can't thank you guys enough because subscriptions have been like huge this past month. I've been posting videos. And also, if you've got any comments or any questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. And other players who are playing currently, again, will hopefully give you some tips and pointers on what to do. I will see you on the next video, and may the Force be with you.